торжественную церемонию. Мы просим вас занять свои места и отключить сотовые телефоны. Желаем...
And keep my eyes above the waves. And I will call upon your name. And oceans deep, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name. And keep my eyes above the waves. And keep my eyes above the waves. And I will call upon your name. And oceans deep, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name. And keep my eyes above the waves. And keep my eyes above the waves. And I will call upon your name. And oceans deep, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name. And keep my eyes above the waves. And keep my eyes above the waves. And I will call upon your name. And oceans deep, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name. And keep my eyes above the waves. And keep my eyes above the waves. And I will call upon your name. And oceans deep, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name. And keep my eyes above the waves. And keep my eyes above the waves. And I will call upon your name. And oceans deep, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name. And keep my eyes above the waves. And keep my eyes above the waves. And I will call up
including research, military sector, education, and finance. First subsection of A, employing the already created WISS system of the UN, urging a budget expansion and raising implementation in states with high poverty rates. Subsection B, the chairman of the union will be appointed by majority vote. No state can remain chairman for longer than a single term in a row, or 2 years. A state may be picked as chairman again after at least 4 other states have had chairmanship of the union after the state's term. Section 2, penalizing the spread of misinformation. The UN Security Council strongly condemns the spread of misinformation and disinformation that can undermine efforts to prevent terrorism and maintain global security. Subsection A, calling upon all member states to take all necessary measures to combat the spread of misinformation, including through imposition of penalties on individuals, organizations, or countries found to be responsible for spreading false information that threatens peace and security. Section 3, stricter guidelines for weapon purchase and transport. The UN Security Council recognizes the need for stricter guidelines for the purchase and transport of weapons in order to reduce the risk of weapons falling into the hands of terrorists. Subsection A, calling upon all member states to implement and enforce stricter guidelines for the purchase and transport of weapons, including mandatory background checks, tracking of weapons transfers, and other measures to ensure accountability and prevent diversion of weapons to non-state actors. Section 4, utilizing methods to eliminate poverty long-term. The UN Security Council recognizes that poverty is a root cause of many conflicts and terrorism in the world, and therefore urges member states to prioritize policies and programs that aim to eliminate poverty long-term. Subsection A includes measures to promote economic growth, create jobs, and provide social protection to the most vulnerable populations, particularly the group of women, children, and refugees, as part of broader efforts to prevent terrorism. Now, our fellow delegate of the Russian Federation will continue reading the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Security Council. We'll go to the progress remains.
Section 5. Monitoring and reporting on financial activities. The UN Security Council recognizes the importance of monitoring and reporting on financial activities of member states, particularly those that may be linked to elite activities or terrorism. Subsection A, calling upon all member states to enhance their financial monitoring and reporting systems and to work closely with international partners to detect and disrupt terrorism financing networks. Section 6, urges continued cooperation from UN member states in the implementation of new policies and reforms assembled by the newly created Union. Subsection A, governments or territories officially deemed terrorists under the UN territory will be closely monitored for progress in eliminating the terrorist activities and enhancing level of cooperation with the UN. Subsection 1, assuming insufficient progress is made after the implementation of new policies and reforms, then UN territory is authorized to interfere in the terrorist territory through the deployment of the United Nations Preventive Deployment Force, having adopted R2P as its guiding principle, labeling terrorist regimes as official crimes against basic human rights and a threat to international safety. The United Nations Security Council urges all members to states to take swift action to implement the measures and to work together to prevent and ensure global peace and stability. Sponsors: Norway, USA, Ireland, India, United Kingdom, Iceland, Russian Federation, United Arab Emirates, Kenya. Signatories: all Security Council members.
Into the migrant. Subsection B. If after the 2-year time period, the migrant breaks the rules and regulations set upon entry, the migrant will receive a strike. Upon receiving a total of 3 strikes, the migrant will be sent back to the country of origin. Section 5. Associated with China's veto decision calling towards enhanced aggressive action against terrorists in their states and terroristic action, as well as China's veto proposition, which directly ranks against the basic human rights of migrants, our House has declared China a danger towards international security as a terroristic regime. Subsection A. actions of People's Republic of China going against the UN Charter, China's abstinence from voting has allowed the Security Council to declare China a terrorist state and invoke R2P. The current sponsors of the current resolution include Norway, USA, Ireland, India, China, United Kingdom, Iceland, Russian Federation, UAE, Kenya. The signatories include all Security Council members. Thank you.
Thank you, Security Council. Well done for the progress you made. Next, please, welcome the representatives of Human Rights Council, Committee number 1.
Good afternoon, honorable guests, dear teachers, coordinators, delegates, fellow chairs and co-chairs. The General Assembly of the United Nations. Nowadays, our world faces numerous serious threats in the human rights area. This year's agenda includes 2 extremely important topics. Serious threats in our world faces today are represented by the introduction of rules restricting women in the choice of the clothing and the poverty at the right of freedom to expression. The issues result in widespread discontent, rights, lack of human rights and freedom, deterioration in living standard and suspension of the development of the countries as a whole, all over the world. Human Rights Committee took an immediate action and came up with a solution that may positively affect the global situation and lend a helping hand to the needy citizens worldwide. So, our first topic, legal restrictions on women's clothing. 1.1. The restrictions for women's clothing shouldn't be allowed or registered in the legislation system due to the fact that it, first, doesn't value women's choices, second, puts a huge part of the population in a favorable position. However, in an official enterprises and organizations, an appropriate dress code, regardless of the gender, shouldn't be cancelled. That requires the development of general rules on the appearance of men and women in the official enterprises and organizations.
Signed countries: Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, Denmark, France, United Kingdom, India, Croatia, Norway, Latvia, Russian Federation, Ghana. Sponsored, Georgia, Canada.
1.2. The government should be secular and laws of the country shouldn't be based on religion, specifically in social, political, economical, and cultural life.
Signed countries: Croatia, Norway, Denmark, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India. Sponsored, Latvia, Ghana, Russian Federation.
1.3. Legally ensure every person's right to wear religious attire according to Articles 18 and 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Signed countries: Denmark, Croatia, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Norway, Latvia, Russian Federation, Ghana. Sponsored, Denmark, Afghanistan.
Point number 2. To develop contact between government and citizens, through which their complaints will be heard and appropriate action will be taken subsequently.
Signed countries: Denmark, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Croatia, Norway, Latvia, Russian Federation, Ghana. Sponsored, Canada, Denmark, Japan.
Point 3.1. Demonstrate respect for women's right and leave the choice of wearing face covering wheels or not to women themselves. Improve the education systems in order to defend the values of different cultures and religions. Less discrimination could be achieved in the population grows their knowledge about religious traditions of members of their society by deploying educational programs in schools and universities about the freedom of choice for women and gender equality.
Signed countries: Denmark, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Croatia, Norway, Latvia, Russian Federation, Ghana, Japan, Venezuela. Sponsored, United Kingdom, Afghanistan, Latvia, Croatia, Norway, Japan, Ghana, Russian Federation.
Point 3.2. deploy educational groups in schools and universities to educate students on the importance of diversity in a society, to create a more comfortable and accepting atmosphere for women or girls who wear religious attire.
Signed countries: Denmark, Croatia, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Norway. Sponsored: Latvia, Russian Federation, Ghana.
4.1. Implement public awareness-raising activities to support gender equality and eliminate negative attitudes and stereotypes that support discrimination against women. These campaigns and public demonstrations can be run in venues including workplaces, schools, and the media.
Signed countries: Denmark, Kyrgyzstan, Venezuela, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Norway. Sponsored: Latvia, Russian Federation, Ghana.
4.2. Organize speeches or lectures for women who wear religious attire willingly to spread the awareness for people not related to the religion and to lift the stigma around said religion.
Signed countries: Denmark, Croatia, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Norway. Sponsored: Latvia, Russian Federation, Ghana.
Point number 5. Develop and improve policies which would be used in order to fight discrimination and gender inequality, which as a result not only would reduce the limitations on women's clothing, but restrictions on the gender in general. An example would be the UNESCO's equality mainstreaming, which involves taking gender equality into account in all policy areas and levels.
Signed countries: Denmark, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, Croatia, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Norway, Venezuela, Ghana. Sponsored: Japan, Latvia, Russian Federation.
Point number 6. Investment into organizations which fight for women's rights in order to reduce gender inequality worldwide. There are funds which collect capital to support marginalized females around the world by providing them clothes and shelter if they are victims of forced migration due to religious, cultural, or social discrimination. An example of such an organization is IOWIT.
Signed countries: Kyrgyzstan, Croatia, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, South Africa, Venezuela, Denmark. Sponsored: Latvia, Norway, Russian Federation, Ghana, Canada.
Point number 7. Enforcing awareness on restrictions on women's clothing and imposing legal penalties. 7.1. The government should spread awareness about the types of domestic violence which can lead to the restriction of women's right in choice of clothes of daughters, girls, and wives and families. Encourage everyone to develop confidence and speak up about any violations of their rights.
Signed countries: Denmark, India, Croatia, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Latvia, Norway. Sponsored: Denmark and Canada.
Point 7.2. Create legal punishment for forcibly violating the integrity of religious attire such as moral compensation, compulsory attendance of diversity lectures, fines which are calculated according to the severity of the offense.
Signed countries: Denmark, India, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Norway, Latvia. Sponsored: Croatia, Kyrgyzstan, Russian Federation, Argentina.
Point 7.4. Recognize hate crimes as a separate type of offense and create a database with every citizen who had ever committed them and was accused of it, structured similar to crime records in each region. The necessity of the implementation is regulated by the government with the agreement of the United Nations Human Rights Committee based on the situation in this precise region.
Signed countries: Denmark, Croatia, Philippines, Georgia, Argentina, Iceland, Canada, Kyrgyzstan, France, United Kingdom, India, Norway, Latvia. Sponsored: Denmark, Venezuela, Kyrgyzstan, Russian Federation, Ghana.
Honorable guests, now I would like to present you our resolution on Agenda 2, which is poverty and a right to freedom of expression. Point 1. To provide free education for people who live in extreme poverty and to increase the level of education, as the level of poverty directly depends on the level of education among the population. Make education the priority.
Signed countries: Croatia, India, Georgia, France, Denmark, Norway, Argentina, Philippines, Venezuela, Latvia, Afghanistan, Russian Federation. Sponsored: Norway, France, Ghana.
Point number 2. To provide access to quality healthcare with the help of OXFAM International Organization.
Signed countries: Croatia, Norway, Georgia, France, Denmark, Argentina, Philippines, Ghana, Latvia, Venezuela, India, Russian Federation, Afghanistan, South Africa. Sponsored: Georgia and France.
Point number 2. To improve the quality of migrants' lives with the help of the government and governmental organizations to reduce the impact of poverty on population. Demonstrate the problems affecting people in poverty by documentary films or lectures in public places, schools, and universities.
Signed countries: Norway, Croatia, Georgia, France, Denmark, Argentina, Philippines, South Africa. Sponsored: Russian Federation, Ghana, Argentina.
Point number 4. To fund small businesses, organizations, and students by the government to increase the economy and give an opportunity for them to grow and expand. To create a more business-friendly environment overall. To invest in people and develop human resources.
Signed countries: Croatia, Georgia, France, Denmark, Norway, Argentina, Philippines, South Africa. Sponsored: Russian Federation, Norway, Ghana, Kyrgyzstan, Argentina.
Point 5.1. To create
Korea, Germany, Norway, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, United States of America, Spain, Italy, China, and Canada.